With the regular
comparable athlete in Kusta.
The regular season let's not get into athlete. Quickly approaching, Ezekiel Elliott remains a holdout. Many starting to have serious doubts about whether he'll be there for game 1, but Stephen Jones seemingly not among those doubters. He's reportedly optimistic that the Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott will reach a deal before then. So you think Zeke will be on the field for the Cowboys in their Week 1 matchup against the Giants?
It is nice to hear from Stephen and Jerry something positive. It's the first positive news I've heard in a long time since he went to Cabo. So, yes, they got about 8 days, though. They need to get him on the roster before next Tuesday because with the league changing its, getting to the final roster, and he might get a 2-week exemption if they decide to use it, which they won't. Then you have to cut another player. But it's... The sands of the hourglass are ticking. Next Monday, you got to get it done.
But this is, to me, a real statement and a real positive statement. He didn't say, listen, we're operating the same position we've been in. Right now, it's Tony Pollard and company. He ratcheted up his fans' expectations that Zeke.
It means they're talking.
Absolutely right. That it is not still silent from Zeke's camp. So that is a true positive sign.
Moving on to Antonio Brown now. His helmet saga seems to be behind him. That after losing his second helmet grievance with the league office. See, will AB finally move on from this helmet issue?
No. If y'all want to make AB go on a little tirade again, everyone tweet him or go on Instagram and tell him the helmet he's got is ugly. He don't look as cute in his helmet. Because that was one of the reasons why he didn't want to give up the other helmet. So this is just the beginning, Jenna. Man, divas, man, they do diva-type things. This is just the beginning. We'll just chalk it up for the summer. Hard Knocks. He'll have something else ready for the regular season, though.
But speaking of Hard Knocks, his Hard Knocks appearances have not shockingly made Jenna Wolf start to soften her stance on Antonio Brown. She's starting to like Antonio Brown. Those producers do amazing things.
Sucker!
Listen, the helmet thing's over. He'll probably actually make a little money out of this with an endorsement deal with the new helmet. But of course, if the helmet was an issue and the feet were an issue, now Chris is talking about maybe he's going to sue the cryogenics company. Regardless, there will be another issue with Antonio Brown. The Raiders just hope it comes with 1,500 yards and 110 catches.
Or just an appearance on the field in a play. Back to Andrew Luck now. The 29-year-old star quarterback retired from the NFL on Saturday. From his rookie year in 2012, Luck has been hit more often per game than any other quarterback who's played at least 3 seasons, leading to a litany of injuries, leading to him walking away. Here's what Colts owner Jim Irsai had to say about Luck's retirement.
This is an unusual situation. I mean, we see Tiger Woods come back and win the Masters. We see, different things. Michael Jordan retire and unretire. I mean, in this case, we just wish him the best, and maybe that he finds some clarity, and maybe, again, he's just going to be 30 years old late next summer.
What do you make of what Jim Irsai had to say, Chris?
It's always a reality. If someone walks away from something and they have age on their side, would they come back? I had played 15 years, was off in the broadcasting career. Dolphins called me. I was like, man, because I had gone to the Dolphins to visit them free agency. Can you play third receiver? Yeah. It's 45 minutes from my house. Yeah, what the money look like? We'll pay you over $1 million, abbreviated season. You know something? I'm available. So as a guy that's walking away, yes. He might wake up and be like, you know something? I feel like I would be more surprised if he stayed in retirement than if he... Yes. Man, he's going to feel a lot better after he rests his body for 12 months or so.
Once he's fully healthy, you mean?
Yes, and he's not training, he's not rehabbing. He doesn't know how he's going to feel in 2 years. I know he's going to feel better, and myself and others have struggled with it. He's not going to get anything. I don't care what his degree's in. I don't care if they ask him he want to go to outer space. There's nothing like playing in the NFL, and he will always miss that. And if his body ever gets back to where he feels like he can manage it, I wouldn't be shocked at all. Like, this is, man, you can't, these jobs are so precious. Playing in the league, playing in the NBA, Major League Baseball, it's so precious. There's nothing else like it. There's no other locker room. There's no demographics that he's going to ever go into a meeting room and it be like the NFL locker room. You think in his next life he's going to fall in love with a guy from South Florida like T.Y. Hilton? No, he's in the real world. In the real world, there's not as much diversity as what he has seen in the NFL locker room. And there's no other job that can replace it. That's why Jason Witten, that's why he left TV, is playing with the Cowboys. That's why me and others have done the same thing. So, no, I would be more shocked if he stayed retired.
Everything you just said about what the NFL locker room presents is obviously true. Everything you said about his age is obviously true. The money, all of it, and yet he just retired because he didn't recover from a calf strain the way he had hoped to.
No, it's not that. I don't believe
that was the last piece. That is not, obviously not all of it. Of course, it was the last 4 years. It was the lacerated kidney and the cracked ribs and the interminable shoulder rehab, and then finally the final straw. Absolutely, I thought that went without saying, but yes, it was a calf strain that didn't turn into an ankle injury. They couldn't quite get right, and he left. And I don't think the money's going to draw him in. Because as you've talked about, the economics are so different. I mean, he has made $104 million in his career. He's not known as some prolific wild spender. So if it was the money, I think he probably would have, when they offered him the ability to go on the short-term IR this year. Okay, let me take another 2 months to consider this decision, collect another $22 million, and then maybe I still will retire. And so for most players, I would be with C. But for this player, because this is such a unique situation, and he is making such an unprecedented decision to walk away not only at this age, but at that position, and with that much meat left on the bone of what he was supposed to accomplish, and with the most talented team he's ever been on. All of that, the person that makes that decision, I think, is unlikely to 12 months or 18 months or 24 months from now go back on that decision.
This morning you talked about what his other options were, because I didn't realize it. I was like, well, what is he going to do a month from now? But you actually laid out a couple things that the guy who we came to know at Stanford, but the guy who also has other interests.
Listen, he just married a woman who's of Czech descent. He's evidently become very interested in that culture. They're expecting a baby. He stayed at Stanford the extra year and got the architectural engineering degree. He started the Andrev Luck book club. I don't think he's going to be just a homebody. Now, I agree with Chris. Nothing will replace the juice he got from taking the football field, but he has to know that, and he made the decision to walk away anyway.
Yeah, all of them did. Magic Johnson, he got the tragic news that he was HIV positive. With that tragic news, Magic Johnson tried to come back and play. They forced him out of it. Michael Jordan, you think he didn't know when he walked away from the game? What did Michael do? Michael came back to the game. And I know for Barry Sanders, when he walked away from Detroit, if they would have traded him to Oakland, Barry Sanders would still be playing football. So in my lifetime, all the people that I have seen walk away, and I was shocked. Magic Johnson, I remember the day they stopped practice, brought everyone into the players' lounge, and we were watching his press conference, watching and crying, and realizing in 24 hours you was getting ready to get HIV tested. The whole world had changed. Michael Jordan, Michael was my guy, man. I was shocked when Michael walked away from the game. And you know something? I was shocked when that dude came back. So all the people that I've seen, either me being close to them, they all have that same thing. The roar of the crowd, and I want to get back out there. I'm willing to take a chance to be able to get back out there. And that, to me, is not foreign to Andrev Luck. Because I don't care nothing about his wife. I don't care nothing about his kids. I know the NFL. I know what it provides for you. I know the self-esteem it provides for you. And you know something? What else Andrev Luck going to be good at? He might be good at being an architect. He won't be great. He won't be one of the greatest throwers. He won't have people saying, you know something? This kid could be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever.
One of the greatest architects ever.
But
yes,
Stacey,
stop. No.
You found a second career that you happen to be very good at, that you seemingly enjoy a lot.
I was always preparing while I was doing my other thing for this. All right?
And see, got all the juice out of the
This is nothing compared to that. When I go to NFL teams and talk to them, and this is no lie, man, I would go back and do my career all over again if you gave me the chance. You take one of those kids, you take Juju Smith-Schuster, take him from the Pittsburgh Steelers, put me on that team. Oh, yeah, let me run a skinny post, Ben Roethlisberger. I would take my chances with all my accolades and say, I willing to chance it again, knowing what I know to be able to do it again. Andrev Luck, He made a tough decision. But the people who I've seen who have been strong in their convictions, that being Barry, that being MJ, and that being Magic, all of them, for some other reason, Barry, they wouldn't trade him. So they held his rights, so he stayed in retirement.
Right.
But the other ones came back and tried to play.
All right, well.